life gets crazy with Brooke and Blake and a husband that works 80 hours a day, a week, and I decided to start my own business on top of it, which is insanely crazy. But thanks to the Iowa Clinic, they made it easy to see my doctor. And when I get there, she listens. So I feel like I have a partner. And before you know it, I can get back to my crazy busy, insanely busy life where I have a busy business, busy husband, and busy twins. Oh no, where's Brooke? There she is. Care how you want it. Visit iowaclinic.com.
Yo, welcome into the Cyclone Fanatic Game Day pregame show presented by the Iowa Clinic. Saw a quick message from our friends at the Iowa Clinic there. You can find out more information about them at iowaclinic.com. And then also presented by our friends at Farm Story Meats. You can find all about them at farmstorymeats.com. Jared Stansbury, joined by Scott Christopherson, sitting in for Chris Williams. Chris Williams, I assume, is sipping a fruity drink somewhere on a beach in Jamaica. The man has earned it at this point. So I think that he definitely deserves the opportunity to go and do this, but at least Scott and I here to talk.
Next year it's going to be the company, the Cyclone Fanatic company vacation on the company dime. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm for that.
Well, yeah, exactly, man. I think we're going to go to Jamaica, all expenses paid, and all drinks are on Williams. Seems easy to get approved, if you ask me.
Guy, but that's taking it to another level.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to preview Iowa State and Kansas tonight down in Lawrence. The Cyclones are 13-point underdogs. At least they were the last time I looked. I haven't looked here more this afternoon. Ken Palm has Iowa State has Kansas winning the game 77-66. Iowa State has not won in Lawrence since 2017. Scott, is there anything coming into this game that makes you feel like this could be the year when that 5-year streak of winning in Lawrence comes to an end, or losing in Lawrence? I mean,
yeah, I think, if I'm Iowa State, you watch the Texas Tech game against Kansas, and that's pretty much the model of how you're going to want to play. I said the other day on our podcast, you got to win the turnover battle and you got to win the rebounding battle. I think that is attainable. It's a tall task, but I do think it's attainable for them. But slow this game down, ugly it up, turn it into a street fight, and, get to the 3-minute mark, 4-minute mark to play with this game tied or maybe a small lead, and anything can happen. Obviously I've also talked about when Kansas goes on its runs, they will hit some shots and Fog Allen will get going a little bit. Iowa State's got to do a better job than they did on Saturday of weathering that storm and kind of sticking to their guns. But, the nice thing is they are coming off a humbling lesson of that, and that'll be fresh on their minds. I know TJ well enough to know he's a mentality guy. It ate him alive the way that game unfolded in the second half there. And I bet he's challenging these guys that tonight's about them, their mentality, their approach. So that's, to me, the recipe for this game.
What have you seen from this Kansas team when you've watched them? It's a little bit different makeup of a Kansas team than what we're really used to. There's not quite the same, big name stars, former 5-star recruits that there maybe are in a normal year. I mean, Ochai Agbaji is one of the best scorers in the league. Christian Brown's been really good for them. Remy Martin's been banged up, but he's been solid. What's kind of been your outlook on Kansas as you've gotten your eyes on them?
Yeah, they've got guards that are dangerous and capable of, shooting the ball, driving, getting out in transition, which is why I think it's going to be important that they really minimize their turnovers and early shots. But I think what makes this team a little bit more beatable on the road, most of Bill Self's teams have guys inside that you really have to game plan and fear. So, you're constantly worried about doubling them and their post touches. And that's what typically frees their perimeter players up for high percentage, looks. This team's built a little bit different where it kind of starts and runs through the perimeter players. And then they'll, sprinkle in getting the bigs mixed in from time to time. But I think that's what makes this game a little bit more winnable for Iowa State on the road, is that they don't quite have the depth and the talent on their front line that you're kind of accustomed to with some of Bill Self's better teams. And that's why I think, too, with the rebounds, this is a game that Iowa State, traditionally you go into Kansas and you're just trying to keep it close on the boards. I think it's realistic that Iowa State could go in there and break even or beat them on the boards.
What does it take for Iowa State to break out of some of these second half I don't know, struggles that they've had offensively where they go these long stretches without being able to get a bucket. How much of that is just being able to get Isaiah Brockington more involved consistently through the entirety of a game, not just at the beginning, but like where it maintains throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I think that. So if you think about it, it's like you're pitching, right? So Isaiah Brockington is this team's fastball, but one of the things that was a little bit for me encouraging from last game is what we saw from Tyrese Hunter. We've seen Tristan Enaruna at times be a guy that they can run offense through. You can't expect Isaiah to go out and carry you for 40 minutes, make shots himself, and then create everything for everybody else. It's just too much. Defenses get used to the looks that Iowa State's throwing at him with him. And you give good defensive teams in this league the same look over and over and over again, and they're going to adjust. So I think what's important is whether it's Tyrese, whether it's Tristan, Caleb shooting the three, or, other players that have stepped up this year, they've got to do enough to get Iowa State to the, 10-minute to go mark, the 5-minute to go mark, where they haven't had to shoot all their shots of what they want to, the looks that they want to get for Isaiah, so that when it comes down to winning time, Isaiah's obviously been a part of the game, but they haven't had to exhaust all of the different looks and counters that they want to throw at Kansas. Now you can get Isaiah to the last 5 minutes of the game and let him take over in a way like we saw him do against Xavier. So to me, it's more about the role players and the supporting players doing enough to get them into the second half where he's not exhausted offensively. And that will give him a chance to be effective in the second half and carry them in getting those stretch buckets.
Give me a couple keys, a couple things you want to see early on in the game to make you feel like it's going in a good direction.
I want to see the defensive intensity ratcheted up like we saw earlier in this year. To me, that's the biggest key. If they come out and Kansas is comfortable, even if they're missing shots early, they'll find their rhythm throughout this game and it'll get out of hand. Iowa State's got to come out from the very get-go, punch them in the mouth, make them uncomfortable, dare the refs to, do what Texas Tech did. Dare the refs to call the game, tight. Go out there and be physical from the jump. And if you do that and get Kansas frustrated and get them a little disgruntled, now you've got a chance to extend this thing and keep it close. And again, you're just trying to get to the 5-minute to go mark in this game where it's within striking distance. And now you go put the ball in Isaiah's hands and have him go win the game for you.
All right. He's Scott Christopherson talking Iowa State and Kansas, about 2 hours from tip down in Lawrence. If you have any questions about how to watch Iowa State and Kansas tonight, which if you're watching this, I'm going to assume you probably don't, make sure to send them to Scott on Twitter. He'll have a full breakdown of how people can access ESPN Plus for you. I'm sure he would be very happy to accommodate everyone out there with any questions. I'll have the instant reaction podcast afterwards. And then of course we'll record an episode of Corner 3 here later on in the week, looking ahead to what comes next and obviously reacting to whatever happens tonight down in Lawrence. This has been the Cyclone Fanatic Game Day pregame show presented by the Iowa Clinic and Farm Story Meats. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.